Hey all, Jason Levon, priest at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to another edition of Pause and Pray. The other day I was having a socially distanced conversation with a neighbor who was talking to me about how he's really enjoyed passing this time in social isolation and quarantine by baking bread with his children and his partner. And how life-giving that's been, how they've been spending so much time in the kitchen together. And in the course of our conversation, he told me, if love had a fragrance, it would be bread, because it makes the house smell so good. And I got to pondering and reflecting on that notion of love as a fragrance. A few days ago, some parishioners dropped off freshly baked scones for me and for Christy. And when I unwrapped them, they had an icing on them that brought me back to my childhood, and the icing that my grandmother would put on her freshly baked butterhorns. A smell that would instinctively lead me into the kitchen where I would find a bowl of freshly baked love and comfort. Or I think of my parishioners who are also spending time filling their house with the aroma of love and all of the cooking they're doing. Young parishioners of mine. Yesterday on a virtual coffee hour, I was talking to a young boy in the parish who was telling me about his recipes for sourdough bread and soft-baked pretzels, or a young girl in our parish who started a YouTube cooking channel, Cooking with Nat, and all of the desserts she's making, or homemade dog biscuits that she's making, and recipes that she's sharing with others. I even got to thinking of love as a fragrance in a funeral I had many years ago for a woman named Beverly. And when I asked her husband Dennis, what are you going to miss most about not having Beverly in your world like she once was, he got a big grin on his face and instantly answered by saying, her smell. She just had this smell to her, and that smell was love. That notion of love having a fragrance is a wonderful gift that this season of Easter brings to us. In our daily office today, we reflect on the story of Easter as it's told by Mark. And he tells a story of Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome going to the tomb on Easter morning, and they were bringing with them the spiced oils of love, the fragrance of love to anoint the dead body of Jesus. And like some of the other Gospels, when they got there on Easter Sunday morning, they encountered this mysterious messenger who proclaimed to them the good news of the empty tomb. And suddenly this air that was wafting with the scent of oil that was meant to mask the stench of death suddenly became a scent that proclaimed the new life of Easter and the abundance of God's love in that new life. And that invites us all to pause and to pray today about how we experience that fragrant love of God in our lives. Maybe it's through the delicious gift of freshly baked bread or butterhorns or desserts that fill the house. Maybe it's through that scent of love that others who are dear to us carry with them. Maybe it's through the smell of spring outside, which reminds us that new life isn't just promised, it's happening in our midst right now. And in all of that, we find the grace to take a deep breath in, not just to catch our breath during all of these uncertain times, but to breathe in the fragrant love and life of Easter, the only thing that can sustain and support us during these times. God's Easter peace and blessings to you all.